Assalamu alaikum. This is Sojla Sahar from Mashriq.Tv. Today our story is about an article written by Rustam Shah Mohammad on Prime Minister Imran Khan's visit to Kabul. In his article, Rustam Shah Mohammad, former ambassador to Afghanistan, stated that, as expected, the Afghan president urged Imran Khan to bring pressure to bear upon the Taliban to agree to a ceasefire, a long-standing focus of the Afghan government. He was of the viewpoint that Khan offered to do whatever he could to persuade the Taliban to reduce violence and agree to a ceasefire. In other words, he assured Ghani of Islamabad's influence to help bring about a cessation in hostilities so that peace talks could make progress. He stated that the reality is that Pakistan's influence over the Taliban has its limits. The group does listen to Islamabad's advice because many of its leaders' families continue to reside in Pakistan's southern western Balochistan province. But on an issue critical to the entire Taliban movement, ceasefire, the Taliban will take their own decisions, he said. Rustam said that, simply put, the Taliban argue that any ceasefire, if it does not deliver, will prove costly because once the Qidars stop fighting, they lose motivation and making them fight again is nearly impossible. Mohammad further added that the Afghan government is in desperate situation. It realizes that any reapproachment with the Taliban will inevitably cause those currently at the helm to cede space and control. In other words, any durable settlement will require Ashraf Ghani and his coterie of ministers and advisors to make room for a new transitional government, he stated. They are not prepared to accept that eventuality, and this explains why the Kabul government have been creating one obstacle after another to prolong talks, Mohammad commented. He also added that the deadlock suits the Afghan government as long as the US and international community continues with their financial assistance, the backbone of a regime that only controls less than half of the country's territory. Some other issues came up during Khan's visit, like the extension of the railway line to Afghanistan, the removal of hurdles in the way of trade, the attacks from across the border, but the critical issue of sharing the waters of Kabul River were not raised, Mohammad stated. Both countries are severely water-stressed and they need to develop mechanisms to ensure the waste of water is handled firmly and both the upper and lower streams riparians get their shares. That can only happen when the countries reach an agreement on water sharing. This must be addressed and resolved before it causes a further rupture in ties between the two countries. Let's hope that Prime Minister Imran Khan visits will be followed by a deeper and constructive engagement that stresses the value of recognizing and addressing the core issues. This is it for now. Thank you for watching Mashriq TV. If you have any queries, you can email us at info@mashriq.tv.